right here on If You Don't Like That. Following this show, Ryan in Sacktown with the pregame show at 6:30. Jerry Reynolds joins us at halftime, and then we'll have the postgame show. It's the Kings and the Warriors, a rematch of last year's playoff series. No Keegan Murray. He's out. Draymond is back with the Warriors after his 5-game suspension, which he didn't want to admit that he did anything wrong. You have the winner of this game automatically going to the knockout round of the in-season tournament, if you care about that. I don't. You've got a Kings team coming off a 4-2 road trip, a Warriors team that has lost 8 of 11. You have the motivation factor of a possible $500,000 to each player if they're able to advance and win in Vegas. So you got a little bit going on in this game. But no Keegan Murray for Sacramento. That's unfortunate. No Keegan Murray. All right, hit me up with your questions. Would love to know what you have to say. How bad was that NFL game last night? How horrible was that? That Bears-Vikings game. You know what I asked myself while I was watching that game in the fourth quarter? What am I doing? Like, why have I sat here and invested 3 hours into this game? I mean, brutal. Absolutely brutal. Horrible. I mean, awful. Horrible game last night. Horrible, horrible game. I mean, for Monday Night Football, that's a bad brand. And you know what? Tom Brady's exactly right about what he said. The quality of play in the NFL is not what it used to be. There are a lot of bad teams. There just are. There are a lot of bad teams in the National Football League. All right. No, the game will not be flex, Garrison. This has to be done several weeks in advance. So there's no chance, Garrison. They don't flex a game the week of. It's done several weeks in advance. All right. I'm a Steelers fan, but after it went woke, I'm out. The NFL is a big-time woke league. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, I don't know about like not watching. I don't watch the pregame, halftime, or postgame shows anymore. I refuse to. I don't watch any of the garbage. I just watch the game. And if you're a Steelers fan, I don't know how you can turn it off to Mike Tomlin, you know? Amazing. Patriots-Giants was a hell of a lot worse. I disagree with you, and I'll tell you why. The Vikings are a playoff team, meaning that they're in a playoff contention. The Giants and the Pats are not playoff teams. Everybody knows that they're bad teams. The Vikings were and still are, a team that was right in the mix for a playoff. That's what is hard to believe. So I disagree with you. It wasn't a lot worse. Because when you turn the game on, you knew that the Giants and the Patriots were two of the worst teams in football. When you turn on Monday Night Football, you're thinking, all right, well, the Bears aren't very good. You got Justin Fields, who, when the Bears get Carolina's number 1 pick, to me, they got to take a quarterback. Justin Fields is not a franchise quarterback. But you have at least some intrigue in that game because Minnesota's right in the thick of the NFC wild card. So I do not agree with you. All right? Absolutely. Do I recall an NFL MVP on a wild card team? No. But then again, I'm doing this right off the top of my head, Cody. All right? Absolutely. They said they drank the Justin Fields Kool-Aid. He's not a franchise quarterback. All right? Unbelievable. He's just not a franchise quarterback, in my opinion. All right, again, happy to have you here on If You Don't Like That. Again, Rhino will have the pregame show coming up at 6:30. Jerry Reynolds joins us at halftime, and then we'll have the postgame show. Justin said, how do you feel about the Kings' chances of winning without Keegan Murray? The fact that they got Trey Lyles back, I think they'll be okay. If they didn't have Lyles, I think it would be a significant step back. And, here's the other deal with Keegan. Keegan has been very inconsistent this year. So you don't know what you're going to get with Keegan. Just for the record, I think the Kings are going to win the game tonight. I think they're going to win the game tonight. I think that they are right now, today, a better team than the Warriors. Now, when the Warriors are healthy, maybe I'll change my mind. Any news on Keon? Yes, he's available to play and will play. So he is going to be available. But I like the Kings tonight. This is a big game. It's a big game. You're taking on a team that's already won twice against you this year. It's a rematch of last year's playoffs. It's the Warriors. It's Steph Curry, who owns you. And it's a big game. Plain and simple. And I expect Fox to go off tonight. I expect Fox to absolutely go off in this game. It's going to be a good one. Going to be a good one. All right, glad to have you with us here on If You Don't Like That. NFL, college. How about Florida State? They're right there. They're in the top 4. I mean, I wonder what the committee is going to do. All right, if Florida State wins this weekend, because they got them right now as one of the playoff teams. And there's been a lot of talk about that. Georgia, Michigan, Washington, and Florida State. If I said Florida, I meant Florida State. So that's your top 4. That's your top 4. All right. Somebody said Warriors are in our head. I don't think so. I wouldn't say they're in the head. The Kings won 3 games in the playoffs last year out of 7 games. So I don't know about that. Sea-Dog wants to know, where do you think Shohei Ohtani lands? Great question, Sea-Dog. I guess the question, first of all, I wouldn't take him. I'm done giving players these mega contracts. Sea-Dog, you know how I feel about this. I told you I wouldn't have done it with Aaron Judge with the Yankees. These mega contracts, to me, more times than not, do not work out for the club. So if it were me, I'm not going after Shohei Ohtani. Let somebody else have him. I'm taking that $400 million, and I'm going to solidify my ball club by getting myself, a couple of pitchers or what have you. I'm not going after Ohtani. I'm just not. And I know he's a marvelous talent. I know he's coming off the Tommy John surgery. I get all of that. He's a box office wonder. There's a lot of pluses. Me, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Justin wants to know, do I think that Davion Mitchell will be benched again now that Keon is back? Davion has seemed a bit better lately in my option, but I'd like to see more for him offensively. Well, how much longer are you going to wait for him offensively, Justin? He's in his 3rd year. At some point, you are who you are. So to answer your question, if there's not an injury in front of him, no, I think he's out of the rotation. Doesn't mean he's out of the rotation forever. Just is. All right? Why is Chris Duarte in the rotation? He produces nothing except mistakes. I don't know if I would say he produces nothing except mistakes. It's just coach's decision. He likes Duarte. I don't agree with that he only produces mistakes. But, as far as Mitchell, as far as the rotation, as Jerry Reynolds always said, it's not Little League baseball. Not everybody gets to play 3 innings. And, you can't play everyone. And that's one of the benefits of having a deep roster. You're going to have some players that don't get in the game, I think there are 3 keys in this game tonight for Sacramento. Number 1, don't let Klay Thompson go off, because I already know what Steph Curry is going to do. All right? I already know that. So the one player that's up and down right now is Thompson. Can't let him have a big game. That's one of my keys. Malik Monk has to have one of those games off the bench for Sacramento. Monk has been very inconsistent. Can't have that in this game. And then third, Fox has got to be the man, and I think he will be. All right? Sabonis did have some pretty good games earlier this season, a couple of weeks ago against the Warriors, after being a non-factor in last year's playoffs. Yes, they need Sabonis as well. But Klay Thompson, can't let him get off, because if you get Thompson and Curry, then that's a very difficult team to beat. Fox, Monk's got to have a good game. All right? Monk's got to have a good game. Washington, 9.5-point underdogs against Oregon. I don't understand that. First of all, I didn't even see the line. That makes no sense to me. That makes no sense to me. I mean, when they played, back in October, right? The game went down to the last second, and the Oregon kicker missed, which would have given them the win. But still, it was a game right down to the end at the wire, right? Like, I don't understand that. That makes no sense to me. All right, again, keep the questions coming. So happy to have you right here. We got a busy, busy evening ahead of us, and I want to thank New Works Plumbing for all of their support. If you have plumbing needs, plumbing repairs, just go to sackserviceplumbing.com or call the number on your screen. New Works Plumbing, they've got a fix for you, and they are available around the clock 24/7. Sackserviceplumbing.com. New Works Plumbing, they've got a fix for you. Kings, Warriors tonight, and it should be a dandy. Early predictions for six-man, way too early. We're in November. Way too early. Way too early. Yeah, it is unfortunate news about LaMelo Ball. He is going to be out for a while. So that is, again, this is when you want to play a team like Charlotte right now. I mean, injuries, it's like, if you're playing Denver, you want to play him now, right? That's, the schedule is part luck, right? It is part luck. All right, part luck. Grant, Eagles, Niners coming up. Is this game bigger for the Niners or the Eagles? It's a great question. If the Niners want to have the number one seed, it's bigger for them. They can't lose and get the number one seed. The Eagles can afford to lose a game with only one loss. But in terms of the intangibles, if the Eagles are looking to go that one step further this year, then I think it's a bigger game for them. They lost in a shootout in the Super Bowl to Kansas City. And if they are really that team this year, this is a game that they should win on their home field. That's how I look at that. All right. Said, I've been a Kings fan for 30 years. My brother got me a City Edition Sabonis jersey for my birthday yesterday. Should I wear it for tonight's game? Craig, happy birthday, belated. You got to wear whatever you want, Chris. Or Craig. I'm sorry, buddy. Craig, come on. You asking me what you should wear to the game? Come on. What are my thoughts on the midseason moves the Kings might make? Better go out and get a backup point guard. I've been saying that for a year and a half now. You better go out and get yourself a quality backup point guard. Do I think that Greg Olsen is a legitimate candidate for the Panthers job? Tom Brady's supposed to take his Fox number one spot. I wouldn't hire Greg Olsen as my coach. I would never hire somebody with no coaching experience in the National Football League. I've never understood that. I don't understand that. All right. Craig says, thank you. You're welcome, buddy. And whatever you do, enjoy the game. Bulls and Celtics are playing tonight. Boston is up 11 in the second, 37-26. Nets and Raptors are going in Brooklyn, 26-24 Brooklyn. The Hawks are in Cleveland. They lead 33-31, just starting the second. Bucks are in Miami. No Jimmy Butler. It's 38-31. The Bucks have the lead 3 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Knicks home to the Hornets, 32-22. The Knicks at the Garden, just starting second quarter. Thunder, Timberwolves in Minnesota a little bit later. The Rockets are in Dallas to take on the Mavs. And, of course, we're talking about the Kings and the Warriors. How do I think Trey will do tonight? I think he'll play well. He's a good player. I think he'll play well. You got to have foul trouble is an issue. All right. Foul trouble is an issue. All right. Serbia checking in. Party in Serbia already started. We are rocking 50,000 loud. 50,000. Wow. Oh, so loud. I'm sorry. That's what happens when you get old, Baki. We are rocking so loud. I'm like, 50,000. I'm like, that can't be. You're rocking so loud. Sorry, buddy. We can't wait. All right. For the Minnesota and the Kings to win, light the beam from Serbia. So happy to have you with us. I was like, 50,000. I can't be. So loud. I got you, buddy. I got you. Good job right there from Serbia. Checking in. Could I see the Broncos making the playoffs? I could because of the way the AFC looks right now. I could. I'm going to say no, they won't. That would be a huge, huge story in the NFL. All right, huge story. But Jeremy Lin's not an option. What about Jeremy Lin or the guard that was traded a while back to the Celtics and is now out of the league? Talking about Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah's had, and I'm a huge, huge, huge Isaiah Thomas fan. He's had several opportunities. He's still going hard every day and everything else. I mean, he'd be worth coming in for a look, but I think the Kings did that last year, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to say Atlanta, Sea-Dog. Who comes out of the awful NFC South? I'm going to say Atlanta. That's where I'm going. All right? That's what I'm on. Serbia checking in. Broncos in 2 to 3 years. Just watch out, Sea-Dog, my man. There you go, Sea-Dog. You're an international star now. Love it. Absolutely love it. I'll tell you what else I love. I love when I'm in Sacktown, and you'll find me at Bennett's, one of their 3 locations, including their newest, the Bennett's West Side Grill at the Blue Oaks Town Center in Rockland. I love it. Brian does a phenomenal job as a restaurateur, and you can go to the location in Sacramento, Roseville, or in Rockland. Go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com, make a reservation, and more. Bennett'sRestaurants.com. Prime seafood and steaks at Bennett's. You'll love it. Phenomenal place. Kings, Warriors, tonight. Going to be a good one. All right. Sea-Dog says Mike Tomlin has his team at 7-4. Some things never change. Guy's a Hall of Fame coach, period. He's as good as any coach in football, period. All right. Very interesting question. Is Slamson one person or multiple? Is Slamson really a person? Is there really a person? All right. This is not an odd question. What do you miss the most about living in Sacramento? There's not just one thing. It's a great question. I get asked this a lot, by the way. First and foremost, my son, Trent, is in Sacramento. My other son now works in Nashville. So I miss my son and I miss all my friends. There for 33 years. I have a lot of incredible friends. And the fans, in that order. Son, friends, fans. That's what I miss. I miss talking to the fans when I go out, whether I'm at the store, I'm at a restaurant, whether I'm out at a golf course, whatever the case may be. That's what I miss the most. All right. Good question coming up right here. Grant, what do you consider a successful season for the Kings? I say winning a playoff series at least needs to happen to be considered a successful season. I agree with you. I think you got to win a playoff series. You got to build on last year. Nashville in the house. Good. Love it. My son lives in the Gulch. Loves it. You familiar with that? I'm sure you are. Is that what it is, the Gulch? Loves it. Works for a TV station in Nashville, and he absolutely loves Nashville. He's been to 2 UT games. I took him to the Tennessee game against South Carolina. He just went to the Tennessee-Georgia game. He's been to 2 Titans games. He's been to a Predators game. Loves working where he does at the ABC station there in Nashville. Loves the Gulch. Loves everything about it. He's living life the right way for someone that's 25 years old, Who do I think deserves the NFL MVP right now? Probably Jalen Hurts. That's where I'm going, probably there. Yeah, you know what, Bulky, when you go to Baki, when you go to Sacramento, yeah, you're right. You got to go to Bennett's, and I'll be with you, buddy. All right. And talking friends, I already consider you a friend. Well, I consider you a friend as well. Thank you very much. That's awesome of you to say. All right. Again, current AFC playoff picture. I'll get to the next one. Ravens, Chiefs, Jags, Miami, Steelers, Browns, Colts. How close is this at the end of the season? I'd have to study it a little bit and look at the schedules. New merch should be available next week. I'll keep you up to date. Thank you very much. Is a great question. In my opinion, is a trade needed to win a playoff series? Great question. No, not 100% needed. Everyone, number one, would have to be healthy. That's the first thing to win a playoff series. A lot depends on who you're matched up with. Matchups are everything in the NBA. But to go past that, yeah, I think you need a backup point guard. It's a great question. Great question. Really has. Cody, the loss of Mark Andrews for Baltimore is huge. Grant that Mark Andrews loss, really, really bad loss for the Ravens offense. Huge loss. Just like Dallas Goedert with the Eagles. I mean, he does so much for that offense. Yeah, I know they just scored, 37 in overtime or whatever it was, but that's a big loss for that Eagles offense. Like, think about if you took George Kittle off the field for the 49ers, if you took Travis Kelce off the field for the Chiefs. Big loss. Yes. Yes, absolutely. He's right on, Amar. Grant, it seems like we hear about a Zach LaVine trade every year. Would he be helpful to the Kings? I think he'd be tremendous for the Kings. I'm a huge Zach LaVine fan. I think the Kings, if you had LaVine, and again, I don't know what you'd have to give up to get him, but if you had Fox, LaVine, and Sabonis, your team would be unguardable. That would be your big three. You'd be unguardable. Now, the question is, what do you have to give up to get him? All right. Well, my pick for the Super Bowl is not looking very good. I had Philadelphia and Cincinnati. Cincinnati not going there, obviously. So right now, I'm going to go Philadelphia. And I'm going to throw one at you. I'm going to go Baltimore because of their defense. Now, the reason why I hesitated with that is Lamar Jackson's got to prove to me that he's a big-time postseason quarterback. I know he's a big-time regular season quarterback. Got to do it in January. But I love the Ravens defense. Do I think they could go in and win at Kansas City? They'd have to play an A game, but I like their defense. I really do. I'm a little hesitant because of Jackson's postseason failures, but I like Baltimore's defense, boy. They are really good, Sea-Dog, I watched Jake Browning play growing up. I watched him as a little kid playing football. He's good friends with my son. My younger son played in the same league as Jake growing up. And so I watched Jake play from a little kid. I watched him play several times in high school at Folsom. I remember watching Jake play against Grant High School and Shaq Thompson, the standout linebacker for Carolina. I mean, I watched Jake play as a kid, so I'm very happy for him, Cody, I understand where you're going. You can't pick the Ravens. Lamar has no middle of the field threats now. I understand. But he's a middle of the field threat with the way he runs. And their defense, Cody, is championship caliber. That's why I picked them. So I agree with you. That loss you're talking about is huge. But I don't think Kansas City, Cody, is unbeatable. Not that they've been unbeatable in the past. Cincinnati went in there and won 2 years ago. Buffalo should have won. Bad coaching. I'm just going with a team different than Kansas City. And if I told you, Cody, it wouldn't be Kansas City and it wouldn't be Baltimore, who would you pick? I can't take Miami. They haven't beat anybody this year. Miami doesn't have a signature win, Cody. I can't pick Miami. Every time they play a good team, they lose. I can't pick them. Who else am I going to take? All right, here we go. I'm taking a team that is from the best division in football, and that's the AFC North, you know? Well, Justin, as far as Keegan asking me if I think he'll get out of the three-ball rut, he's only shooting 28% from three this season compared to 41 last season. How do you think his three-game affects the overall success of the team? Well, it's not a relative question for tonight, Justin, because he's not playing tonight. If the Kings are going to make it out of the first round of the playoffs or make the playoffs, let's first of all get to the playoffs, he's got to be much better. I would agree with you. All right. But he's not there yet. Sleeper team, NFL. I'm probably going to say Houston if they beat Denver this week. That would be my team. All right. There we have it. There we have it. Dago. So Dago or Dago? I don't know how you would pronounce your name, so forgive me. Never picking the Raiders to win. Not as long as Mark Davis is still the owner. Just like I'm not picking the Cowboys to ever win now that Jerry Jones has completely turned that franchise into a circus. All right. Will I trust Keegan to end and start with him every game on this 10 stretch we have? Well, I got to first of all figure out when is he playing. You know, he was a full go in practice yesterday, looking good. And then all of a sudden, a couple hours later, he was ruled out with his back. So I don't really know. Watching from the Middle East and Iraq, good to have you. Good to have you. All right. Hope you're doing well. Thoughts on the Canada firing and the Steelers' offensive breakout? I think Matt Canada was doing a terrible job. I don't have a problem with it. You know, I don't have a problem with it. All right. Don't forget, pregame, 6:30, right here with Ryan in Sacktown. Halftime, post-game show. Jerry Reynolds will be on at halftime. Hey, if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, would you please subscribe? Very simple. Just hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost you anything. You're not going to get hit with spam mail. No. The only thing it does, it notifies you whenever I'm doing content. Hit the subscribe. Give us a thumbs up, a like button. Really would appreciate that. All right? All right. All right. You know, when you think about this game tonight, and I talked about this a lot, the 10 of 11 game stretch that begins tonight at home, and I'm just stating this, other than Washington, Brooklyn, and Utah, all the teams coming in are very formidable opponents. All right? Boston, Phoenix, right? Denver's in, Oklahoma City. And I'm doing this off the top of my head. Golden State tonight. This stretch of 10 of 11 at home, where the Kings are 4-1 at home this year, could completely dictate how your season goes. This, to me, is as important as any stretch that the Kings are going to have this year. 10 of 11 games at home, not even talking about what may happen in Vegas. This is big-time stretch for Sacramento, all right? Big-time stretch. I subscribed. The second I found out your channel existed, we miss you calling the games on TV. Thank you, Justin. Appreciate that. And tell your friends, too, you know? Tell your friends, too. I don't know about League Pass. Everyone was, do you get League Pass in Iraq? No, I don't think you do. Maybe I'm wrong. You have friends in Nigeria and Mexico. Can they subscribe to premium? They use it as well. I mean, maybe you can, maybe you can't. I don't know. All right. I don't know. It's a good question. Maybe you can get the app, the pass. You can watch games all over the world, depending on what you're willing to pay. I don't know the answer to that. You know, Curry is not a Kings killer. Curry is an NBA killer. Curry just not only kills the Kings, that's why he's got jewelry all over his hand. He beats everybody. All right. All right. Here we go. Cody checking in. Philippines has their own NBA League Pass, different from the USA. Pretty awesome. All right. Boki from Serbia. If you have an internet connection that is good, yes, you can. John says 7-4 in the next 11. Book it. I would take that. I think that would be good. 7-4. Listening to the show. All right. Or listening. I think you misspelled a word, and that's why you put that. Let me see what you said here. All right. Okay. This is what you were saying. Grant, happy to be here listening to your show live at the same time I'm celebrating my birthday, loyal follower. You know what? Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Stay safe. And happy birthday. And if you are a serviceman, we greatly appreciate your service. Thank you for all you do. And if not, whatever you're doing overseas, stay safe. It's a crazy world we're living in. Stay safe, my friend. Stay safe. All right. Yes. Happy birthdays for you from all of our folks. All right. People, happy birthday. God bless you. Yes. Go on. Appreciate that. Love the support that we have here. All right. Someone says, if Mitchell plays at all, I hope to see at least 10 points for him. Yeah, he's got to, you know, more happy birthday wishes for you. Love it. Fans here are awesome. Yes, indeed. Says, I have voting here about it right now. Let's see. 8 people voting for this stretch. I say 9-2. Grant, we miss you in Sacramento. I miss you too, Bobby, and everyone else. What do you think for this 11-game stretch? What do you think? I'm going to say I'm going to say 8-3. 8-3. Hey, thank you so much for the super chat. Grant, there's an AT&T commercial that stole. If you don't like that, you don't like NBA basketball infringement much, it's for Google Pixel 8, I believe. I have been alerted to that. And thank you very much. And thank you for your super chat donation. I really appreciate that. All right. When are the rookies going to get a chance? What rookies? Who are you talking about? And you don't get a chance. You earn your chances. This is not, youth sports. All right. It's not about getting your chance. It's about earning your way onto the floor or onto the field. All right. That's what you do. It's not about getting a chance. It's about putting your best players on the floor. It's about trying to win. All right. John says 8-3 would be an incredible stretch with the tough teams coming up. All right. I'm going to tell you why I said 8-3. I'm already penciling in, and I know I shouldn't do this being a Kings follower. I'm already penciling in wins against Brooklyn, Washington, and Utah. So now all of a sudden, I've got 7 of 8 games at home. All right. Now I don't have to go 8-3. You understand my rationale here? You got it? So that's why I'm going 8-3. There we have it. Do you and Jerry talk about the Kings during the season? All the time. We talk on the phone and we talk right here. Jerry does a show with me every Wednesday at 4 o'clock. So tomorrow, Jerry will be right here at 4 o'clock. If you're not aware of that, subscribe to this channel and you'll always know when I'm doing shows with Jerry, with Ryan, by myself. You'll know. So just subscribe to the channel and you'll be up to speed on everything. All right. Absolutely. Grant, do I think that Bogey should get out of Atlanta? Seems like he could start on a lot of teams. I think it's very difficult playing with Trae Young. As far as getting out of Atlanta, I don't know. I haven't talked to Bogey in a while. I don't know how he feels about it. I do know that playing with Trae Young is not very easy. All right, Cody, message for you. I expect Looney will dominate the boards. If the Kings don't shoot well, if the Kings shoot well like they did in Minnesota, they'll have a great chance to win. If they shoot the way they did in Minnesota, they will win. All right, take that to the bank. All right. Thoughts on the in-season tournament? Do you think it will be successful in the future? I'm not a fan of it. I don't like it. Will it be successful? Yeah, because the league's going to push it to death. Here's the biggest obstacle that I see for the in-season tournament. If you get down to the championship game in Vegas, let's say the Kings are in the championship game, and God forbid De'Aaron Fox goes down with a serious injury or Sabonis, you think anyone in Sacramento is going to say, gee, oh, but, the Kings made it to the finals of the in-season tournament, and, oh, how great that is. And then you don't have Fox for the rest of the season or a month or two or any other player? Then what do you think they're going to say about the in-season tournament in a meaningless game as far as the season goes? I'm not a fan of it. I think it's nothing more than a gimmick and doesn't mean anything to me. All right? Does Steph Curry ever have bad games? He never seems to against us. Sea-Dog, few and far between, my friend. All right, I'm wrapping it up. We got a busy night. Pre-game with Ryan, halftime, post-game. Love everyone here on the stream. Thank you. Talk to you soon.